What is going on, everybody? I went to a conference with a bunch of seven-figure and multi-seven-figure business owners, so highly successful people. And I spent a couple days with them in Florida, and it was great. I learned a lot. In this video, I'm going to go over specifically 7 different quotes or mindsets or ways of being that have already started to change the way that I think and the way that I approach consistency. And so I wanted to sit down, make this video, share them all with you so that you can use them in your health and fitness journey or just really in life in general. So without further ado, let's dive into them. The first one is the master has failed more times than the student has even tried. Now, I love this quote so much because it just reminds me of like what true mastery takes. It takes trying and failing consistently over and over and over and over and over and over until you reach the point where you can see every single pitfall because you already know what's going to happen because you've already made that mistake. The second one is the energy and intention you bring is everything, more important than any tactic. And so this one, again, I really love because it just goes back to this idea of mindset and like the way that you show up is so much more important than like the day-to-day execution of tactics, because all of those things can be learned, all of those things can be iterated and improved on if you show up with the right mindset. When I think about health and fitness, all of our most successful clients are the ones who come in with this like beginner's mind of like, I'm gonna take on everything that you give me and I'm gonna readily, eagerly implement, and I'm gonna take imperfect action because I already know I'm gonna mess up, but that's okay. I'm just gonna keep showing up and keep taking action and start to see things unfold. And I'll also notice what mistakes I make, what things I need to iterate, what things I need to improve. And just by taking that consistent action, that's what allows for the results to come. Number 3 is that confidence comes from competence. This one I think speaks for itself, but I have seen this come true in so many areas of my life is that, for a long time, I actually wanted one of my biggest like goals was like, I just wish like people would think I was confident when I meet them. And I would try to like have this like, like I would try to like exude confidence or whatever, like, and the reality is like people could see through that from a mile away, right? But when I first came across this quote and I started to shift into like, okay, let me actually become competent, let me get really good at something, the better that I got, the more naturally confidence just flowed from me. And now in certain things, obviously not in everything, I'm not, not insane, not fully confident in everything I do, but there are certain things that I show up with so much confidence that people will literally tell me, they're like, I trust you because you speak with so much conviction about what you do. The fear of looking dumb or being wrong is what actually holds us back. This is so pivotal for me because for most of my life, I hated to be the one asking a question or being like, wait, I don't understand, or asking the teacher like, hey, could you repeat that? Because I don't really understand what I'm supposed to do. I hated being that person. And unfortunately, honestly, our school system trains us to not be that person. Like you never get rewarded as a student for, asking clarifying questions. But when it comes to life, that's what leads to success, is the ability to ask questions and to be wrong and to make mistakes and to look dumb. And the more I've let go of that fear and just embraced like, I don't know everything, I am here to learn, especially like when I was at this conference, right, with people that are wildly successful, most of them far more successful than me, when I'm surrounded by that energy and I'm just like, I'm here to learn, I don't care if I look dumb, that is what allows me to take so much away. Like every time I go to a conference like this, I leave feeling so energized, so excited, because I'm just asking a lot of questions and I'm just like, hey, how did you do this thing? Or how does this work? And sometimes people are like, what an idiot. Like, how does he not know this? But like, that's why I'm there, is because I don't know it, And so I think that the more I've become honest with myself of like, this is something that I need to work on or I need to grow in, it then allows me to feel, give myself the permission to ask the questions. I've noticed the same thing with the people that we work with, is that when somebody comes into our company and is like, hey, I'm stuck, I can't do this alone, I've tried it and I need help, When somebody comes in with that type of mindset, they are going to see the most amount of results the fastest, because they're not like arguing against what works. They're just like, I'm here like with this like humble posture of learning, like I'm here to learn. So just map out for me what to do and I will do it, right? The people that aren't as successful are the ones who come in with like, oh, like I think I should do this, or I've done this before, or you know what, maybe I can do it on my own. Just like have that ego, that kind of like chip on their shoulder. Like those are the people who end up not being successful because they never actually ask for any help. This fifth one is the pattern for behavior change. And so behavior change starts with number one, having a new belief, which number two leads to having new thoughts, which leads to having different actions, which leads to getting a result. Now, once you get that result can either prove that the belief was true, or it will prove the belief wrong, and then you need to find a new belief, right? So an example of this is with health and fitness. Somebody might come into us having a belief of like, I can't take control of my health and fitness because my lifestyle is too crazy, right? Because of that because of that belief, their thoughts are, I will never be fit, I will never be healthy, I can't do this, I can't stay consistent, I don't have enough discipline, whatever, right? Because of all of those thoughts, their actions are those of a not fit, not healthy person. And then the results are that they feel terrible, have low energy, don't like the way they look, carrying extra body fat, whatever, you name it, right? Now, if they replace that with a new belief of, I am capable of taking control of my health and fitness, even though I have a busy schedule, it just takes a little bit more planning and a little bit more care of how I fit things in, then that would lead to new thoughts where they start to think differently. They're like, okay, what can I do when I'm at the airport? How can I turn being at a hotel into a positive rather than a negative towards my goals, right? They start to act differently. Then they start to take different actions, start to get workouts in more consistently. Maybe they hire and invest in a mentor to actually help them and hold them accountable, right? And then finally, that leads to different results. So they actually see body weight fall off, they start to feel better, which then in turn reinforces the belief of I can be a fit, healthy person. So that's one example. Of course, you can use this in literally anything. Any area, I like to use this, any area of my life where I'm not perfectly happy with where I'm at, I will literally just ask myself, okay, well, these are the results that I'm getting. So what are the beliefs that are leading to the thoughts, to the actions, to the results that I have now? If I can switch that belief, then I can change everything else. Number 6 is the way out is through discomfort. I love this because it is so true that pretty much every single instance I've ever found myself in where I'm in a place where I don't want to be, the way out of being in that place is going the uncomfortable route, doing the thing that I don't really want to do, but that will be good for me. With my health and fitness, it was I should get into the gym consistently. I should make better choices with my nutrition. I should educate myself on how all this stuff works. None of those things were comfortable because they were different from what I was currently doing, but I wasn't happy with the results I was currently getting, and so I needed to make changes. Same thing is true with business. Like every aspect of business that I've learned that I need to improve on, it's always uncomfortable. Like, okay, like for example, we're scaling. So I was like, okay, well now I need to learn leadership skills. I need to learn how to deal with people and lead them. And those were uncomfortable things to learn of like, how do I bring somebody on board, paint the vision for them, show them what we're working towards, get them actually like bought in on that enough to where they actually are excited to come work for me, right? Like all of those things were big learnings, and it's like every single step that I've been on any journey or any endeavor I've been on, I always know I'm in the right direction when I'm uncomfortable. Because if I'm uncomfortable, I'm growing. Speaking of growing, this leads me to the last one, which is how tall does a tree grow? And the answer is as much as it can. This is my favorite quote out of all 7 of these because it just goes to show like that's the reality. A tree never thinks about like, I've gotten to about 20 feet tall. I think I'm good right here. Like, I don't really care. Like, no, trees just keep going up and up and up until they literally physically are incapable of doing so. So that's how I want to live my life, right? Like, I don't want to set these like boundaries for myself and then just like cap my own growth at a certain level or a certain potential, because I want to be a lifelong learner. I always want to be learning, reading, growing, applying new information, trying new things, making mistakes, making myself look dumb, because that means that I'm learning and I'm pushing my comfort zone. One book that I really love that talks about this is called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. So I strongly recommend this book, by the way, if you are into like mindset stuff and feel sometimes yourself kind of sabotaging yourself, and you're like, why am I doing this behavior that I know I shouldn't be doing, right? Like if you've ever experienced that in any way, which I definitely have at many different, aspects of my life, that book was really pivotal and life-changing for me to be able to actually identify like what are the upper limits I'm setting for myself, and once I reach them, like how do I actually just remove that upper limit so that I can keep growing. I hope this video was enjoyable. If it was, let me know. Comment down below your biggest takeaway. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this type of video and want to see more like it. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Peace.